All right, today we are going to talk about how to solder copper pipe. First and foremost, we want to let you guys know that you should really not attempt to do this unless you're a trained or licensed professional. We don't recommend doing this. If you do this, there's a lot of issues that you could cause. I mean, you are playing with fire, so be very, very cautious if you try to take this task on. Again, we wouldn't recommend it. We recommend you call a licensed professional. Some of the things that you're going to need in regards to soldering, just to protect yourself, we have some gloves for safety so you don't burn your hands. We also have safety glasses, just prevent any kind of solder or heat from anything popping in your eye. Very important. Safety is a very important issue anytime you're doing any kind of work around your home or business. Also, some of the items that we have here is going to be MAPP gas, which is what's going to heat the pipe up hot enough, and that's your torch head there. And that's what's going to also direct the heat to a certain area to get that area hot enough for the solder joint to fuse together. Here we have just a roll of some solder, okay, which is lead-free for drinking water. Very important that you use lead-free solder anytime you're soldering a potable water system, which is a drinking water system. Here's just a rigid pipe cutter. This is going to be used to cut copper pipe. Makes a nice smooth cut. Here is a wire brush to clean the inside of your fitting. This is a piece of emery, which is basically a mesh screen used to clean the outside of the pipe. Very important for the process. And here we just have some regular lead-free flux. So we'll go ahead and just a piece of paper towel to wipe the joint. So the pipe is there. We also have a 90-degree fitting. The pipe we're working with today is a 1/2-inch copper pipe. So the first thing that we're going to do is we'll cut the pipe wherever it needs to be cut. Excuse me. So here basically you slowly tighten down as you spin in one direction the cutters, and that's going to make a nice clean, even, smooth cut. Okay, so you can see there, nice, clean, even cut, nice and flush. Next, what we'll do is we're going to actually clean the outside of the copper pipe where we plan to make the joint connection. And you'll see that as he's cleaning the copper pipe there, it becomes real shiny. What you're looking for that is to shine up real nicely versus the dull area, and that's going to get all the buildup and crud and any kind of stuff that might be on the outside, including oils or any material that's going to cause that to not have a good seal. Okay. Now he'll clean the inside of the fitting. Even though the fitting is new, you still want to clean the inside of the fitting. Again, you want to scruff up the fitting, make sure everything is nice and clean in there, and remove any kind of buildup that might be on the inside. Again, you're looking for that really shiny copper look. All right. Once that's done, what you're going to do is take some flux paste with a little brush, and you're going to just apply a thin layer of flux to the area that you're soldering only. So you don't need to go crazy with this stuff. A little does wonders. Just right there where he's actually going to make the solder connections there is where he's just going to use a little bit of flux. All right, and inside the fittings as well. Then what you're going to do is make sure that you get a nice push onto your pipe and your fitting. You want to make sure that it's all the way on there, nice and snug. And what that's going to do is make sure that the joint's pushed in all the way, so when he does solder the pipe, you get solder to fill the entire area. So when you're soldering copper pipes, it's basically the solder is melting and filling in the gap between the two sections of pipes of the fitting and the pipe itself. What he's doing right now is just wiping off any excess flux that might be there, because the solder is what gets drawn in by the flux. So if you have extra flux on the pipe, what's going to happen is you're going to see your solder start to run all over your pipe. You're not going to get a clean joint. Now he'll heat up the pipe. This is where the dangerous part is. You should really have handy a fire extinguisher just in case there is any kind of issues. Even as a professional, we always have a fire extinguisher right around us. All right, so once it gets hot enough, what you're going to do is you're basically just going to take the solder and fill it in. The solder actually will melt right into the joint there. All right, and then what you're gonna do is once you're done, you're just gonna wipe it with a dry cloth. You do not wanna use more flux. You need to be very careful. The pipes are very hot. You don't wanna use more flux. You don't wanna use a wet towel or a cold towel. That might cause the joint to actually crack, and you wanna prevent all that. You want a nice, good, tight seal on it, and just a dry paper towel or dry rag just to wipe off the excess flux will help keep it nice and snug there and have a good, clean, finished joint. So that's basically the process of soldering a piece of copper pipe. We hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you.